All right, welcome back, everybody. Another Tuesday night edition of the Cafecito and Cane show. Thank you very much for being here. It is early February, so yeah, it's still off season. We still got a long way to go until 2024 until we kick off in the swamp. But I have a feeling this is going to be one of those off seasons that goes by really fast. There's going to be a lot to talk about with recruiting and the transfer portal and all that stuff. So. I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy the process because with Mario, the off season is like, so far it's been even more fun than the season. Hopefully that changes, but it's going to be a lot to look forward to. We're already off to, in my opinion, a scorching hot start for the 2025 class, which we'll get into. That's going to be my main topic to discuss. What's going on, man? So let's take a look at really quick what we got so far. Because I think people aren't talking about this enough. People are still talking about who else we can add before the spring. Honestly, I think as far as the 2024 class, I don't know if we're going to add anybody else because, signing day. I don't even know when signing day. Signing day, is it tomorrow or like next week or so? I don't even know because really. Early signing day in December kind of became the new signing day. So I don't really even pay attention to February anymore. Our class is pretty set. We may add one more guy in the portal before the spring starts, or may get another commit through there. I don't know, but I think the roster's pretty set with we're going with what we're going with into the spring. I certainly think there's going to be a mass exodus at some point because you got to make room, like we've discussed. But anyway, I'm not expecting anything groundbreaking anytime soon before the season starts, but I wanted to focus on what we have gotten so far in the 2025 class. And really, credit to the staff for in an era where not only you're constantly recruiting, not just from high school, but from the portal, but you're also constantly re-recruiting your own players because at any point, literally 365 days a year, everybody on your team is a free agent. So they could walk out the door at a moment's notice. So they got to not just recruit new guys, but keep re-recruiting their current guys. Thankfully, Mario's about that life, and that's what he's focused on. So, we don't have a coach that's just, that's going to crack under that pressure. I think he's here for it. But that means your coordinators and your assistant coaches have that much more of a role with the on the field stuff. Let's see. Did we get another QB in 24? I think he has a walk on. Yeah. There was a walk on that came on board. Maybe for my next show, I'll do a little more research on him. But I wanted to focus on the blue chippers that we have gotten so far in 2025. I'll take a quick look. So obviously, the biggest name in the class so far is Luke Nickel, quarterback, rated a 3-star right now, which is hilarious. This is the time that you don't look at stars. I'm telling you. And look, we're heading into year 3 now of this, where we've gotten guys that were 3 stars, maybe got bumped up to another star, or there were a 3-star, but they just happened to be the right fit, like, Matthew McCoy, like Inez Cooper. Those are 2 good examples from that first class. It's and also, like, if you look at it early in the cycle, like now, you don't want to look at class rankings either, because that's all going to change. Okay, they're going to look for those foundational guys that are going to set the tone and build momentum for the class heading into the summer. So I'm hoping the fan base has learned by now in the 3rd year of doing this that, look, if a 3-star commits, let's say, or somebody that's not ranked at all, please trust this staff's process. I do. I trust their process. One thing this staff has done is when they hit on players more often than they don't, more often than they miss. So I trust their evaluation process. If they wanted a guy, like if they wanted Lamar Williams, who might be rated a 4-star on Rivals, but no stars on 247, doesn't have a ton of big offers. If Alex Mirabal wanted him, I trust that. I trust that they could do something with him. But even that being said, I love the 4 guys that we got so far because they are like not just big time recruits that I think their stock is going to soar over the next 12 months, but they're at premium positions where you need star power. You know what I'm saying? Like those foundational positions, like quarterback, for example. Luke Nickel right now rated a 4-star. He's ranked the number 28 quarterback in the nation. That's all going to go up over the next year. He's going to, in my opinion, probably end up like a high 4-star. 6'2", 205 pounds, good size. You already have Cam Newton gushing about him after 7-on-7s. I think Miami landed a stud here. And it seems like from listening to him talk that he really likes Miami. And, you know, he's not listening to a ton of the outside noise that, other schools. I'm sure other schools are after him right now, and they're going to be after him more later in the cycle. But I like the things here that he's saying. He's using the word "we" a lot. He's talking about guys that he'd like to bring into the class. He's really being a true class ambassador, so that's always a good sign. I remember back in the day when DJ Dallas committed. This is 5-6 years ago, whatever it was. And he was a big-time class ambassador. He committed early. He was a blue-chip 4-star recruit, I want to say from Georgia or like Northern Florida, something like that. A guy we wouldn't normally get at the time. We got him. He commits early, and he's trying to convince all these guys to commit. That was the class that we got, like Mark Pope and Brian Hightower. And people forget those guys were big-time blue-chip wide receivers. So, it's good to have guys like that early in the class to kind of build that foundation. But we got Luke Nickel. That's huge. That's massive. We got our quarterback. I am of the belief you should take at least one per cycle. Then you got Elijah Melendez, who is also rated a 3-star. Also hilarious. I don't know why. If you watch 2 or 3 clips of his tape, you're going to wonder what the hell were they doing? Is that a typo? Is that a glitch? Like where's he's missing 1 or 2 stars next to his name. Go watch his tape if you haven't. Elijah Melendez is every bit of 6'2", 225 pounds as a junior in high school. We didn't used to get those guys. Okay. I don't know if you noticed last year, we brought in a few linebackers that had that size and speed, that had that athletic profile that we had missed for so many years. Now we're bringing in some more, and it's good to see. I'm really happy about it because you bring in Pulliam and Popo in that class 1 year, then the next year you bring in Adarius Hayes in this class that just signed. And now you're going to bring in Elijah Melendez and probably, I'm thinking at least 2 other guys. If they can somehow pull off getting like a Zayden Walker type of player, give me those 2 and I'm good. That's really shooting for the stars, though. I don't know if they can pull off grabbing Zayden Walker, especially in the area he plays in. He's from Georgia. But then you have other guys. Hang on, let me look him up. There's a name that I'm blanking on right now, and in the linebacker ranking. Let's see. Linebackers, Zayden Walker. Jaden Perlot, however you pronounce it. That's another guy, like he's committed to Georgia right now. Tarvis Alford, that's the kid I'm thinking of from Vero Beach. I think we're going to get 2 or 3 guys of that caliber to pair with Elijah Melendez, which I can't wait for. So you got elite quarterback, elite linebacker, 2 extremely, extremely important positions. You got Waden Charles, who committed back in September. I don't know if you guys remember this. He committed back like right after we beat Texas A&M, around that time when, things were kind of hot. That win really got recruiting cranking, specifically for skill positions because of what we did on offense that day. But you got Wade and Charles, who good size, 6'2", $185. He's going to fill out more, $185 as a junior in high school. Again, he's going to have time to fill out. So he's got that ideal size and length, good speed, good skill, well-rounded, from West Palm Beach. So he's from the area. I like that we're kind of spreading out that net. It's not just South Florida. We're kind of going out throughout the state of Florida. And speaking of, our latest commit was Lamar Williams, offensive tackle, 6'7", 280 pounds. I think he's north of 280 looking at his picture. I think he's closer to 300, but huge, massive dude, massive wingspan. Definitely a guy that's very raw. I watched his tape. His feet absolutely need some work. Ezekiel. Yes. That's another guy that I remember watching a game with him. The game that Central played IMG a couple of years ago, that it was Ruben Bain against Francis Maui Noah. I don't know if you guys remember that game. One guy really popped out at me, but I was like, damn, he's only a sophomore, whatever year he was at the time. It was that kid. I was really impressed by him, by his play in that game. So, yeah, give me him, give me an Alford, give me a Melendez. That's a hell of a trio right there. Chalupa. What's going on, sir? Chalupa's really been on the 2025 class for a while. So I got to have you on, man, to talk. Once the class gains a little more steam and we're up to like 9 commits, 10 commits, I would love to have you on again to talk about some of these guys, because I know you're really dive deep on the film. Wade and Charles will probably end up being a 5-star. I hope so. I hope Luke Nickel ends up being a 5-star. That'd be amazing. I keep hearing people say that. I'm tempering my expectations, but we'll see. What I've seen so far from Luke Nickel, I'm impressed. I see why they wanted to get his commitment so early. So where was I? Yeah, Lamar. Okay, so Lamar Williams, he's from Havana, Florida, up north, Seminole country, pretty much. We plucked him out of their backyard, and they can't come on here and tell me, oh, he wasn't a take. Listen, they offered him a scholarship. He was visiting. To me, that's a take, especially this early in the class. Okay, for sure FSU was interested in him, and this is going to be just another one of those guys like Ryan Mack, like OJ Frederick, like Dylan Day, that we got in on the ground floor before a lot of people knew about them, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, who is this kid? Like, and then they start getting offers from other people. So believe me, Lamar Williams, who's very raw at 6'7", nearly 300 pounds, a very lean, carries it well kind of 300 pounds. A guy that Mirabal obviously thinks he can mold into a solid Power 5 starter or better. Believe me, that young man's going to get a lot more offers. So quarterback, linebacker, elite quarterback, elite linebacker, elite wide receiver, and tackle with a very, very, very high ceiling. I don't know, but not looking at the ranking, I think this class is off to a tremendous start. It could not have started any better. And if you remember, just a year ago, Mario was going into the spring with, honestly, I don't remember who was committed. I know it was like a few 3-star guys. And I think Chance Robinson, I want to say that the night of the spring game, Chance Robinson committed. He was like the first blue chipper. And, but people were worried. Like, listen, and people were worried the year before when around this time we weren't getting a lot of blue chippers, but then they came later. Relax, guys. It's gonna take shape. It's not gonna be a huge class. Probably gonna be 18 to 20 to 22 guys, depending on how many drop off. But it's gonna be a smaller but elite class. They're really gonna take their time and cherry pick, because remember, it's not just, these guys are coming to visit to see if they like Miami. These guys are also coming to visit to, for Mario and Zoe to see if they like the player. It kind of goes both ways. It's kind of like an interview, okay? They want to see if it's a fit. You know what I mean? So because a blue chipper comes down and maybe after a visit here commits somewhere else, which, has happened, don't take it as, oh, we missed. Maybe we missed. Or maybe we told them, listen, we only have so many slots. We don't really see you as good of a fit. You're a great player, but I think you might fit better somewhere else. That happens a lot too. So you gotta be patient with this. Let's see. 904 Hurricane. What's up, man? Yeah, exactly. Just as I was saying, with such a small class estimated for the cycle, Mario and staff will have to be meticulous in our recruiting selection. I agree. No, they're going to be very. They're like I said, they're going to cherry pick. They're really going to be careful and cherry pick who they want. But I just love the strategy. I really think they're doing this to set the tone and send a message. There's a method. This didn't happen, by accident. There's a method to this. Elite quarterback, elite linebacker, elite receiver, potentially elite or really, really good tackle. I mean, those are four of the most important positions on the field. And those are four guys that other linebackers, because this is one of the best linebacker classes I have ever seen, maybe ever. I mean, I have to go back to like early 2000s. Like I said the other night, Willie Williams, Zayden Walker reminds me of that kind of freak athlete. And God, who else was around that time? I want to say, was Colin McCarthy that? No, he wasn't that class. He was a couple years later. I know there was I can't, if anybody can think of the name, who was the kid? He was a stud linebacker. He ended up going to FSU around 03, 04. I think he was the same class as Willie Williams. Like stud, like everything linebacker. And he was pretty good. Like once he got to FSU. I'm trying to remember his name. Nathan, what's up? Only 207 more days until Gator Barbecue. Can't wait, go Canes. Yes, sir. I will be there. I thought I was going to be tied up, but it turns out I will not. So I will either, I don't know if, this is way too early in advance. I don't think they plan anything. I don't know if they're going to do like a watch party like we've been doing for Flo's, Flo's channel, but might do a watch party up in Orlando or whatever. I don't know what they're going to organize. I might go to the game in the Swamp. I haven't decided yet, but I will be in one of two places watching the game. Norman, much appreciated, sir. Thank you so much for the donation. What's good, fam? Let's see. See if I missed any. I would say mid to high 4-star for Nickel. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I would say high 4-star for Luke Nickel. At least now. He's still got more development to do, but he's gonna really blossom, I think it is, in his senior year. John, do you feel realistic to have a top 5 class as the fan base expects every damn year? Hey, we got one this year, and we almost got one last year with only 18 to 20 commits at the end of the cycle. Again, I think what will really solidify it is how we perform on the field. If we go 9-3, say we go 9-3 and we beat FSU and Florida, which is entirely possible. Florida's not that good. FSU, they're going to be tough. DJ Uiagalelei is a very good quarterback who's probably going to fit well in their system, but they have so much to replace, and it's here. So I totally see a scenario where we beat both UF and Florida. Let's say we beat both in-state rivals. We're state champs. We go 9-3. Maybe we make an appearance in the ACC championship game. I think that'll go a long way in solidifying us in the top 5, because that might be enough to get a Zayden Walker. That might be enough to get a Jamie French. Win 10 games, and now you're really cooking. Now you're really cooking with gas, and you got. I think if Miami wins 10 games, and I'm not saying they're going to. I'm saying if. This is hypothetical. Let's say Miami goes off and wins 10 games, and I think this is like best case scenario. And they win the ACC, and maybe, and they're like vying for a spot in that 12-team playoff. I think that's kind of the ceiling for this team. if Cam really clicks with the offense and everything goes well, we have some good injury luck, I think double-digit wins is definitely a possibility. I'm not expecting it. I think there's some work to do. But if that happens, we pretty much can land whoever we want, because everything that Mario has been selling the last 2-3 years to these kids will end up coming to fruition. And they'll be kind of like we were as fans when he finally landed Cam Ward. Like, oh my God, he did it. He was right all along, like we should have believed him. Yeah, if Miami has a season like that, like kind of hits their ceiling kind of season for 2024, we'll have our pick. We can go out and get whoever we want. And yeah, that'll really cement us in the top 5. And I think we will have a top 5 class. I mean, outside of just a complete disaster on the field, which I don't think is going to happen, I totally see that happening, man. Nigel Betham, I don't know. Michael, no, it wasn't Michael Boulware. I just thought of the name, but I might have the year wrong. I think I'm thinking of Ernie Sims. Was Ernie Sims around that time? Let me look that up. I don't know why his name is standing out to me. Ernie Sims. Let's see. Whatever happened to him? Ernie Sims, 6 foot. Yeah, I think enrolled at Florida State in 2003. Yeah, I think he was around that time. I think that's who I'm thinking of. Yeah, that guy was a monster. Let's see. What 2 running backs are we in for, in-state or outer state? Honestly, it's too early for me to tell because I've been more focused on wide receiver and linebacker, but I will get back to you, Sigmund, with an answer. I know I don't think we'll get more than 2, because that room is pretty loaded as it is, but you never know with who drops off with injuries. But I'll do a more in-depth look at running back and some of the other positions for my next show. One I really hope we hit hard is corner. I really like the prospects we got. But I would really love to land, a couple of blue chippers like that, like how we couldn't quite land Ellis Robinson this year. I hope we land an Ellis Robinson in this class. Like somebody of that caliber, like that ready to play kind of talent. Chalupa throws up, I think these are a couple of prospects that you were asking about, Sigmund. Like I said, I'll do more of a deep dive later. But yeah, corner's one that I really hope we land a 5-star stud. Like, one of those that you scroll down to the projection on 247 and it's like, this guy's a future first rounder, like that kind of ceiling. But it's funny though, because you're starting to see people do the thing that they did a couple of years ago where it was like, oh, Mario can't recruit a wide receiver. And then this past cycle, what does he do? Boom, 3 potential superstars he goes and gets. And then it's like, well, he can't go recruit a quarterback. Okay, he got Luke Nickel. He got Cam Ward. He went and got Poffenbarger, who I really like, for the record. I think him sitting for a year is going to benefit him a lot, and I think he's a threat to start in 2025. I like Poffenbarger a lot. I like Chris Ewald too. I really like Ewald. That's a kid that I think not only do we have a realistic shot at, I think we're in good position for. But I like him. But yeah, my point is, it's like whenever the fan base says, or the haters say, oh, Mario can't recruit this position, he goes and does it. Defensive line, another one. Oh, we can't recruit big-time D tackles. Best D-line class ever in Miami history, and that is saying something. please, all the haters, say as much as you want. Oh, we can't recruit corners. Say it. Please say it until you're blue in the face. Just tweet it all day long that Miami can't recruit corners. Mario can't get a stud DB. Just keep doing it, please, because I think the more you do it, the more likely it is that we'll bring in like the top secondary class we've ever had. Let's see, I like Gilbert too, and Bang Hanks Jr. cornerback. Yeah, no, I think at a few different positions we're gonna really load up. Someone told me when, and I'll end on this. Someone told me when Mario came in that, and nobody wanted to hear this, but somebody told me this. Like when Mario came in, it's like, look, listen, he'll probably, he'll turn things around, whatever, will be better. But 2025, I remember, and this stayed in my mind, 2025 is the year that, that you really want to pay attention to you. That's the year you want to wait for, that will really things will really take off, basically. Hopefully it happens in 24, but it makes sense because now 25, you're 4 classes in. You've had plenty of time to kind of eliminate, the past, the past regime, what was left of that old bad culture. You had to weed that out. So, this next year or two is when all these classes, stacking these classes back to back to back, you're really going to start to see it come to fruition on the field. LSU currently has, can't talk, 3 5-stars in next year's class. Brian Kelly is currently off the charts. He has like a 75% winning percentage for his entire career. Ridiculous. Listen, Brian Kelly can recruit, man. And talk about a program that's got money. Dude, I've heard something. I won't get into it, but LSU, they're not hurting in any way. Yeah, I have no doubt. I mean, that's since I was a kid, since I was like in high school, since I first started following this recruiting stuff. It's like, yeah, LSU is always picking off like 3 or 4 big time, like top 10 recruits. I mean, they do it all the time. John, there's no question these boys can recruit, or there's no question Mario can recruit. I want to see these boys thrive and dominate. 1,000%. I no disagreement here. I want to see that too. So far, though, I talked about this on my last episode. If you look at the guys from that first small class, that wasn't really a full cycle. He came in and kind of threw it together in 2 weeks. There's a handful of guys in there that you're like, oh, wow, they really, year to year, they took a step forward. Isaiah Horton, N.S. Cooper, guys like that. Trevante would have if he was healthy. Hopefully we see that. And there was 1 or 2 other guys from that class. I can't think of them right now. But that first class, you had that. And then this freshman class, I mean, you only have a 1-year sample size, but how many guys played as freshmen? Not only played as freshmen, but played well as freshmen. It's like, damn. Because it's one thing to get a blue chip recruit. It's to get a blue chip recruit that's ready to play now. And the coaching staff deserves some credit for getting that player prepared. I know a lot of it is them putting in the work, but the coach, especially in year 1, guiding them and putting them, pointing them in the right direction with their workouts and their drills and, adjusting to school life and all that stuff. The coaching staff deserves a lot of credit for that, in my opinion. But it's also getting the right guy, which this staff is able to identify. So I'm really excited for year 3 to see that young group, the sophomores becoming juniors, the freshmen becoming sophomores, and, the holes that we plug with the transfer portal, because we, more often than not, we hit on the guys that we bring in. A lot of reasons to be excited. But, Ayo, what's going on, sir? Another guy I got to have on soon. I will be reaching out to you soon, sir. But yeah, that's it for me. Right around that 30-minute mark. please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. And also, since they were in the chat, please go follow Chulupa Batman. He does great content. Go follow AO and the Miami Mayhem show. They're on the Miami Flow channel, but go support their show as well. I will be back. I was about to say the same. Yep. No. I was talking to Lex the other day. I know we're planning something for me to be on your show, but yes, please come on mine anytime. I'll be reaching out soon. But anyways, thank you all for being on. I'll be on next week, and I'll probably just be doing, unless there's like some crazy breaking news. I'll probably just keep my regular Tuesday night once a week as we go through the off season. But it's going to be fun. I think that there's going to be some hype going into this season, and it's going to be fun. Anyways, I gotta go. Go Canes. Have a good night.